My BIL asked me to cheat, then told a family I was obsessed with him. The audacity deserved its own zip code. I didn't wake up one morning thinking, wow, today feels like a great day, to accidentally become the villain in someone else's family mythology. No. I woke up like a normal adult woman, worrying about stupid normal adult things. Whether the milk was expired, why fitted sheets fight back like they have personal grudges, and if my marriage had officially entered that comfortable phase where romance gets replaced by discussing grocery discounts, which honestly, I liked that phase. Stable is underrated. Stable doesn't get enough marketing. Nobody makes movies about couples peacefully folding laundry while arguing about thermostat settings, but let me tell you, that's real love right there. Or at least I thought it was. Anyway, the disaster began with Adam. Not his real name, obviously. I may be emotionally reckless, but I'm not legally suicidal. Adam was my husband Jake's older brother, the golden child, the success story. The guy who walked into rooms like applause should automatically happen. Big house, fancy car, corporate job that sounded important, but somehow also vague enough that nobody really knew what he did. Something with consulting, which I'm pretty sure means expensive emails. He and his wife, Vanessa, also fake name, had been married forever, 15 years. The kind of marriage everyone assumes is permanent because they survived early. Facebook together, then suddenly divorce. And not quiet divorce, not mature mutual separation. Oh no, this was emotional WWE. Lawyers, accusations, family group chats mysteriously going silent, passive-aggressive holiday scheduling, the whole messy cinematic experience. Jake avoided it completely. Jake avoids emotional conflict the way cats avoid water. If tension enters a room, Jake spiritually evacuates. So when Adam texted me, I should have recognized the universe clearing its throat dramatically. But hindsight is just intelligence arriving late to the party. The message said, hey, I just need someone neutral to talk to. Neutral. I was apparently Switzerland now, which is hilarious because I am not neutral. I have strong opinions about cereal brands and parking etiquette. My first instinct was no. Second instinct, empathy, because he sounded broken. And I have this deeply inconvenient personality flaw where I feel responsible for other people's pain even when nobody assigned me the job. I told Jake. He barely looked up from his phone. If he needs to vent, that's fine. Shrug. Permission granted by emotional absence. And boom, mistake officially approved. The first meeting was at a coffee shop. Public, bright, safe. I picked a table near the counter like I was preparing witness testimony. Adam looked awful. Dark circles, unshaven. That hollow look people get when their routine disappears, and suddenly they have to sit alone with themselves. He talked a lot. About betrayal, about not seeing the divorce coming, about how Vanessa misunderstood him, and I listened. Because listening feels harmless. Listening feels kind. Listening feels like something good people do. Here's something nobody warns you about. Listening creates intimacy whether you intend it or not. You become the safe place, the emotional landing zone. And sometimes the person landing decides you belong to them now. At the time though, it felt innocent. I went home thinking, okay, good deed completed. Emotional charity work done. I expected maybe one more conversation, maybe two. Instead it became routine. Messages every few weeks, then weekly, then every couple days, nothing inappropriate. That's the part that messes with your brain later. No flirting, no obvious boundary crossing, just vulnerability, which in hindsight was the setup phase. Like emotional foreplay I never consented to. Months passed before things started feeling off, subtle shifts. The way he watched me when I spoke. Compliments sneaking into conversation. You're easy to talk to. You really understand people. Jake's lucky. And every time my brain did that thing women are socially trained to do, don't assume. Don't make it awkward. You're probably imagining it. Meanwhile, my internal alarm system was screaming like a smoke detector with dying batteries. But I ignored it, because acknowledging discomfort means confrontation, and confrontation means drama, and I hate drama. Which is ironic considering my life now resembles a reality show nobody asked for. Then came the dinner. I almost canceled. I remember staring at my reflection thinking, why does this feel weird? But nothing had technically happened. And technically is the devil's favorite word. The restaurant lighting was dim, too dim, romantic dim. Oh god, this looks like a date dim. I should have left right then. Instead, I sat down, because politeness is apparently my villain origin story. Adam barely ate, kept fidgeting. Finally, he said he wanted to ask me something important. My stomach dropped immediately. You ever feel your brain trying to exit your body early? Like your soul already booked an Uber? Yeah, he leaned closer, looked directly into my eyes, said after everything he'd been through, he realized what he really wanted was someone who understood him. Someone who had always been there. Someone like me. And I swear my brain froze, like buffering, like reality needed a software update. Then he said it. We could have something together. Quiet, private. Jake would never have to know. I felt instant disgust. Physical disgust. Like touching something sticky in the dark? I told him no. Not polite no. Not confused no. A clean sharp absolutely not. I told him he misread everything. I told him I was family. I told him this crossed a massive line. He looked stunned, actually stunned, like rejection wasn't part of his life experience. Then he laughed. Oh, relax. Just a thought. Ah, yes. The classic I wasn't serious retreat. Men will emotionally set a building on fire and then act surprised when you grab a fire extinguisher. I ended it immediately, told him never to contact me again, walked out shaking, not sad, not confused, angry, because suddenly every conversation replayed differently in my head. All those vulnerable talks, all that trust. It wasn't accidental. He had been steering toward this moment the entire time, and I had helped him get there. I drove home furious. Jake was on the couch watching TV, laugh track echoing while my brain detonated. I told him I was done talking to Adam. He nodded, didn't ask why, didn't press, just accepted it. And I let the full truth sit in my throat, because I didn't want family drama, because I assumed cutting contact solved the problem, because I believed adults handled rejection maturely. That belief lasted exactly 3 weeks. The silence felt peaceful at first. No texts, no calls. Relief. I started relaxing again. Then things shifted. Not obvious at first, just vibes. Jake's mom suddenly colder. Conversations pausing when I entered rooms. His sister Laura avoiding eye contact. People smiling like customer service representatives. Forced to tolerate difficult clients. At first I blamed anxiety. Maybe I was projecting. Maybe I felt guilty for not telling Jake everything. But then it kept happening. Whispers, glances. That unmistakable feeling of being discussed when you're not present. My stomach started living permanently in fight or flight. Something was wrong. Big wrong. One night I asked Jake, "Does your family seem weird toward me?" He shrugged. Said he hadn't noticed. Then casually mentioned Adam had been talking to everyone a lot lately. And something inside me dropped. Not suspicion. Recognition. Like hearing thunder after ignoring dark clouds all day. I asked what Adam was saying. Jake said mostly stuff about the divorce. Nothing specific. I wanted to believe that. I really did, because the alternative meant Adam wasn't embarrassed. He was retaliating. And retaliation means intention. A few days later, Laura messaged me. "Can we talk? In person?" That's never good. Nobody schedules happy ambush conversations. We met at a cafe. She didn't small talk. Didn't order coffee. Just asked, "Have you been meeting Adam behind Jake's back?" I actually laughed. Not because it was funny. Because shock sometimes comes out sideways. Then she explained, Adam had been telling the family I pursued him, that I kept reaching out, that I used his vulnerability to get close to him, that I complained about my marriage, that I wanted attention, and apparently he had screenshots, photos of us meeting, messages, evidence, carefully selected reality. My stomach turned cold, because technically, those meetings existed. But the story attached to them was completely inverted. He didn't need to invent events. He just needed to rewrite motives. And people believe motives more than facts. I told Laura everything, every detail, every boundary, every rejection. She listened, but I could see hesitation, because Adam wasn't just anyone. He was family history, shared childhood, trust accumulated over decades, and I was newer. Outsider status hits different when conflict starts. I left that cafe realizing something terrifying. Truth doesn't matter as much as familiarity. And Adam had decades of credibility. I had years. That night I told Jake everything. All of it. The confession, the rejection, the lies spreading. I expected immediate outrage, defense, anger on my behalf. Instead, silence. Just silence. He sat there processing. And that hesitation hurt more than any accusation. I asked if he believed me. He said he didn't know what to think. That both stories sounded different. That he needed time. Time. I offered my phone. My messages. Proof. He checked. Found nothing inappropriate, relaxed slightly, then said the sentence that broke something in me. "You probably shouldn't have met him so much." Blame disguised as logic. I felt betrayal hit like a physical wave. I had asked permission. I had tried to help, and suddenly I was responsible for being manipulated. That was the moment I realized this wasn't just about Adam anymore. It was about whether my husband trusted me when it actually mattered, and the answer wasn't clear, which somehow hurt worse than a no. The next weeks felt unbearable. Family gatherings turned icy. Judgment everywhere. Adam walking around calm, composed, victim-coded, winning. I kept telling myself as long as Jake believed me, it would be okay. But Jake wasn't fully there. Something had shifted. And once doubt enters a marriage, it sits at the table like an uninvited guest refusing to leave. I didn't know yet how bad things would get. I didn't know Adam wasn't finished. I didn't know this was only the beginning. All I knew was this. I had tried to be kind, and somehow kindness had turned into evidence against me. There's a specific kind of loneliness nobody warns you about. Not the being single kind. Not the no friends online at 2 a.m. kind. I'm talking about the moment you realize people are looking at you like they're politely waiting for you to confess to something you didn't do. Like everyone else got handed a script except you. Right after Jake said he needed time. Time. I hate that word now. Time is what people ask for when they don't want to choose you yet, but also don't want to admit they might not. Time is emotional buffering. Time is cowardice wearing business casual. And suddenly my marriage felt like customer service hold music. The house changed first. Not physically, emotionally. Same couch, same kitchen, same stupid cabinet door that never closed properly unless you hip checked. It like you were entering a wrestling match. But the air felt different. Jake still kissed me goodbye in the mornings. Still asked if I wanted coffee. Still texted, "Did you eat?" All the normal husband behaviors, except now everything came with hesitation. Like he was interacting with me carefully, like I might explode, or confess, or reveal hidden villain motives. And my brain? Oh, my brain went feral. Every pause became evidence. Every sigh became suspicion. I started replaying conversations in my head like security footage. Did I sound defensive? Was I too angry? Should I have told him sooner? Should I have never helped Adam? Should I legally change my identity and move into a forest? Okay, that last one stayed tempting. Then came the first real crack. Jake sat down one night looking uncomfortable, which immediately triggered internal panic, because men only look uncomfortable when they're about to say something emotionally stupid. He said Adam had shown the family more proof. I already hated where this was going. Screenshots, photos, messages, and apparently, wait for it, a voice recording. A voice recording. I blinked. A what? Jake said Adam played a voice message where I supposedly sounded emotional, confiding. saying things about my marriage. I laughed. Not amused laughter. Unhinged laughter. The kind that scares dogs. Because I have never, in my entire technologically incompetent life, sent Adam a voice message. I barely send voice notes to my best friend because hearing my own recorded voice makes me want to apologize to humanity. So immediately my brain goes, he's fabricating evidence now. Which honestly, bold move. Psychopath confidence level advanced. I asked Jake if he had the recording. He didn't. Adam only played it in person. There it was. The magician never lets you inspect the trick. Only live demonstrations. No copies. No forwarding. Just enough exposure to plant doubt. And suddenly I understood something terrifying. Adam wasn't trying to prove truth. He was creating ambiguity. Because ambiguity kills faster than lies. If people aren't sure, they default to whoever feels familiar. And Adam was family legacy. I was the new addition. I told Jake exactly that. If the recording were real, Adam would send it everywhere. He'd blast it through group chats like breaking news. Instead, he performed it privately. Controlled audience, controlled reaction, controlled narrative. Jake didn't argue, which should have felt good. But silence started feeling worse than disagreement. Silence meant uncertainty still lived there. And uncertainty in marriage feels like sleeping next to someone slowly, backing away emotionally inch by inch. We started having conversations that felt like negotiations instead of love. He said this was hard for him. I said it was harder for me. He said his parents were upset. I said my entire character was being assassinated. He said he felt caught in the middle. I said there shouldn't be a middle when your wife is accused of cheating with your brother. I remember saying that out loud and thinking, wow, this is a sentence I never imagined needing. Life really said plot twist. Here's the thing nobody explains about betrayal. It's not always loud. Sometimes it's quiet disappointment. Jake never called me a liar. He never accused me directly. He just didn't fight. And absence of defense feels exactly like abandonment. I started noticing tiny changes. He checked his phone more around me, paused before answering questions, watched me like he was studying behavior patterns, which made me furious because I wasn't under investigation. I was supposed to be his partner. And yes, I spiraled. Hard. I cleaned the house obsessively one night at 1 a.m. because apparently scrubbing countertops felt like regaining control over reality. I reorganized drawers, alphabetized spices again, cried because paprika had no reason to exist twice. Emotional stability? Gone. Brain running a nonstop commentary. Maybe I should have blocked Adam sooner. Maybe kindness is just stupidity in a nicer outfit. Maybe I married someone who freezes under pressure. Maybe I'm losing my mind. And intrusive thought of the week. What if everyone secretly believes him already? That one stuck. I decided I couldn't sit still anymore. Waiting was killing me. So I called Laura, which felt weird because she was technically neutral territory. Switzerland Part 2. She sounded tired, like someone trapped inside a family group chat apocalypse. We met again at the same cafe. I brought receipts. Literal emotional receipts. My phone, every message, every timestamp, no editing, no hiding. I handed it to her like evidence in a courtroom drama. She scrolled silently, and I watched her expression change. Confusion. Realization? Discomfort, because context destroys manipulation. Adam had shown them cropped screenshots, selective framing, remove surrounding conversation. Suddenly kindness looks like flirting. She admitted they never saw full conversations, just fragments. And suddenly I felt something dangerous. Hope, which is honestly reckless at this stage. Hope is emotional gambling. Laura said Adam never shared complete threads, only moments supporting his version. That's when anger replaced sadness, because this wasn't misunderstanding anymore. This was strategy. He curated reality, weaponized vulnerability, turned rejection into revenge. And honestly, the audacity almost impressed me. If emotional manipulation were a career, Adam would have stock options. Laura looked shaken, said she didn't know what to do. I told her the truth. He was controlling the narrative because he knew people trusted him more. She promised she'd talk to Jake. I walked out feeling lighter, like maybe truth still mattered. Spoiler alert. Optimism ages poorly in this story. I came home expecting progress. Instead, Jake was waiting, arms crossed, expression tight. He asked why I met Laura behind his back. Behind his back. I stared at him. Because apparently defending myself now counted as suspicious behavior. I laughed again. Becoming a theme lately. I'm clearing my name, I said. He said I was escalating things. Escalating. As if I started this emotional wildfire. I felt something inside me crack. Not loudly, just quietly giving up. I told him I was fighting while he stayed neutral. He said he was trying to keep peace. Peace. That word again. I asked what peace looked like exactly. Because from where I stood, peace meant I stayed quiet while lies spread. Peace meant sacrifice, mine. And suddenly I realized something brutal. Jake wanted resolution without confrontation. He wanted this to fade away naturally, but lies don't fade. They root, they grow, they rewrite history. That night I couldn't sleep. Every thought loud, every memory replaying. I realized I was waiting for him to choose me, waiting for one moment of clear loyalty, and it wasn't coming. The realization hurt more than Adam's betrayal, because strangers hurting you is expected. Your partner hesitating? That rewires your entire sense of safety. Around 3 a.m., I packed a bag. Not dramatic packing, no throwing clothes. Just quiet decision-making. Jeans, shirts, toothbrush, laptop. I didn't plan where to go. I just knew staying felt like slow emotional suffocation. Jake woke up while I zipped the bag, asked where I was going. I said I needed space. He looked stunned, like consequences were unexpected guests. He said we could talk tomorrow. I said we'd been talking for weeks, and none of it changed anything. I left. Driving away felt surreal. No music, just road noise and adrenaline. Part of me expected him to chase me. Movie-style reconciliation moment. He didn't. And that silence said more than words ever could. I checked into a hotel, generic beige sadness decor, the kind of place where everything smells faintly like cleaning, products, and unresolved life decisions. I sat on the bed staring at the wall. Didn't cry. I was past crying. I felt empty. which honestly scared me more. When I turned my phone back on later, it exploded. Missed calls, texts, Jake asking where I was, Jake asking if I was safe, Jake asking to talk. But the message that stopped me cold came from Laura. She confronted Adam, told him about the full conversations. His response? He laughed. Actually laughed. Told her truth didn't matter. People believe whoever feels more believable. And between him, lifelong family member, and me, outsider, he knew who would win. I read that message 3 times, because hearing manipulation described so casually felt chilling. He wasn't defending himself, he was enjoying it. Enjoying watching me struggle. That realization flipped a switch inside me. I stopped trying to win, stopped trying to convince, stopped trying to explain, because you cannot reason with someone who benefits from misunderstanding. I sent Jake one message, just one. I'm not coming back until you decide where you stand. Simple, clear, no emotion left in it. He read it immediately, didn't reply. And honestly, that silence answered everything. The next few days were strange. Quiet. I stayed with a friend who offered her spare room. First night there, I slept 12 hours straight. No tension, no judgment, no feeling watched. I didn't realize how heavy the house had felt until I left it. But peace didn't last, because Jake finally showed up at the door, looking exhausted, like reality finally caught up with him. And I knew, standing there, the real confrontation hadn't even started yet. Jake looked smaller standing in my friend's doorway. Not physically smaller. Same height, same familiar shoulders, but emotionally reduced. Like someone had unplugged his certainty and forgot to turn it back on. And I remember thinking very calmly, oh, this is the part where love runs out. Which sounds dramatic, I know. I hear myself too. Trust me. My brain narrates everything like it's winning an Oscar for emotional suffering. But there's a real moment, an actual measurable second, when you stop hoping someone will finally do the right thing. Hope expires quietly. No fireworks, no screaming violins, just exhaustion replacing expectation. He asked if we could talk. My friend hovered behind me like security staff at an emotionally unstable concert. I appreciated the backup. Everyone deserves at least one witness during life-altering conversations. I told him 5 minutes, because boundaries suddenly felt necessary. Revolutionary concept. Jake stepped inside, looked around the apartment like he'd walked into an alternate universe where I existed without him. He said he hadn't been sleeping. He said everything was chaos. His parents were upset. Adam was still telling stories. The family was divided. And I just stood there thinking, amazing. Even now, the problem is still everyone else's feelings, not mine. Not the woman whose reputation got bulldozed. Nope. Emotional traffic report focused on family discomfort. I didn't interrupt immediately because I wanted to see how long it would take him to mention me. Spoiler, longer than it should have. He finally said he missed me. And for a split second, tiny, embarrassing, traitorous second, my heart reacted. Because muscle memory is stupid. Love doesn't switch off instantly. It flickers. It hesitates. It remembers good mornings and shared jokes and stupid inside references about burnt toast. But then reality kicked back in. Missing me wasn't the same as defending me. Missing me required nothing. Standing up for me required risk. I asked him one question. Do you believe me? Simple. Clear. No room for philosophy. Jake rubbed his face, sighed, and said he wanted to believe me. Wanted. Past tense disguised as effort. My brain translated instantly. He still wasn't sure. And something inside me finally snapped into place. Not anger, not sadness. Clarity. I realized I had been waiting for validation like oxygen. Waiting for him to choose me publicly. Waiting for a moment that already should have happened weeks ago. And suddenly I didn't want to convince him anymore. I didn't want to present evidence. Didn't want to argue logic. Didn't want to perform innocence. I was tired of auditioning for my own marriage. So I told him the truth. I'm not coming back. The words landed heavier than I expected. Jake blinked like he misheard. He started talking fast. Counseling, communication, fixing things, taking space together. Classic repair script, except repairs only work when both people acknowledge damage at the same time. He was just arriving at acceptance. I had already moved past survival. Here's something nobody tells you about emotional betrayal. You don't leave when the biggest fight happens. You leave when the last piece of hope quietly dies. Mine died sometime between his hesitation and his request for more time. I told him I wasn't punishing him. I was protecting myself. He said I was giving up too easily. I laughed, actually laughed, because I had spent months fighting for us while he negotiated neutrality. Now that I stopped fighting, suddenly I was the quitter. Wild how that works. He asked what he was supposed to do. And honestly, that question pissed me off more than anything else, because I wasn't his manager. I wasn't assigning tasks. I wanted instinct. Loyalty shouldn't require instructions. You shouldn't need a step-by-step tutorial on defending your spouse against false accusations. I told him exactly that. He went quiet, and silence again filled the room. We had become a relationship built entirely out of unfinished conversations. He said his family meant everything to him, which, fair. Family matters. I'm not anti-family. I'm anti-being sacrificed for family comfort. I told him loving family doesn't mean enabling lies. He said confronting Adam would tear everyone apart. And there it was, the real fear. Not losing truth, losing harmony. Jake wasn't choosing Adam over me. He was choosing stability over conflict. And unfortunately, I was the variable easiest to remove. That realization hurt, but it also freed me. Because suddenly his behavior made sense. He wasn't malicious, he was avoidant. And avoidance can destroy relationships just as effectively as betrayal. He asked if I still loved him, and I paused. Because love doesn't disappear instantly. It fades in layers. I loved the version of him who used to feel safe. I loved memories. I loved history. But the man standing in front of me, I didn't recognize him anymore. So I told him something honest but brutal. I don't feel safe with you right now. His face cracked. That was the first moment he looked truly shaken. Not angry, not defensive, scared. because safety is the foundation of marriage, and once that's gone, everything else collapses. He stayed longer than 5 minutes. We talked in circles. No yelling, no dramatic accusations. Just two people realizing they had reached different emotional timelines. He wanted repair. I needed distance. Eventually, he left. And when the door closed, I didn't cry. I sat on the couch staring at nothing, waiting for devastation to hit. Instead, I felt lighter, which felt wrong. You're supposed to feel destroyed when your marriage starts ending, but relief showed up first. Relief that I didn't have to explain myself anymore. My brain immediately followed with, "Congratulations. You are now a cliché independent woman eating takeout in borrowed pajamas." Honestly, iconic. The next weeks became transition mode. I looked for apartments, filled out applications, learned that landlords require approximately 17 forms of identification and your emotional history, apparently. I started rebuilding routine. Morning coffee alone, walks without explaining my schedule, silence that didn't feel heavy. And something unexpected happened. My thoughts slowed down. For months, my brain had been occupied with defense strategy. Now space opened up. And into that space came anger. Delayed anger. The kind that arrives after survival mode ends. I got mad at Adam. Really mad. Not explosive mad, cold mad. The kind where you finally understand someone deliberately tried to ruin you because you rejected them. That realization changed how I saw everything. I stopped questioning my actions. Stopped wondering if I caused it. Predators don't need reasons. They need opportunity. Laura kept updating me. Family tension rising, some relatives starting to question Adam privately, others doubling down. Apparently chaos spread once doubt entered the system, which made sense. Lies work best when nobody challenges them. Once one person questions, the narrative cracks. Adam, according to Laura, became more aggressive, more dramatic, victim performance escalating, which honestly tracked perfectly. When manipulators lose control, they escalate. I told Laura I wasn't interested in fighting anymore, and I meant it, because I finally understood something important. Clearing my name wasn't my responsibility anymore. People who wanted truth would find it. People who didn't, never would. Jake texted occasionally, checking in, neutral messages, careful wording. I responded politely but briefly, distance growing naturally, not hostile, just over. And one night I realized I hadn't cried about him in days. That realization hit harder than heartbreak, because grief fading means attachment loosening. And once attachment loosens, return becomes unlikely. I signed a lease, my own apartment, small, nothing fancy, but mine. The first night there felt surreal. Boxes everywhere, no shared memories on the walls, no expectations waiting in another room, just quiet. I sat on the floor eating pizza straight from the box because adulthood clearly regressed slightly, and I thought, this is what starting over feels like. Not dramatic rebirth, just ordinary independence. Then Jake showed up again, unannounced, angry this time, demanding to know why I was moving forward without him. Said I wasn't giving the marriage a chance, and that's when something shifted permanently inside me. Jake and I stopped talking regularly, no dramatic cutoff. It just faded. Text became logistical, then occasional, then almost nothing. The emotional thread snapped quietly, which somehow hurt less than expected, because by then, grief had already done its job. I wasn't angry at him anymore, and that scared me a little. Anger at least feels alive. Indifference? That's the real ending.